Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bearded Tamper. I am the Bearded Tamper. So, my last video was about an arrowhead, well, a piece of an arrowhead, this one. And now, well, I just want to show you guys my little collection. It's not much, as you can see, most of it's broke. These are... Well, this is the most complete arrowhead that I have. And this one, that would be a second. This one would be a spear point. We say arrowheads, but very seldom were any of them actually arrowheads. So this one would have been on an arrow. This one would have been on an arrow. Possibly this one. This is the bottom. And typically, you know, this is your standard arrowhead. This is what an arrowhead, you know, when people say arrowhead, that's what they think of. But, you know, they do have, you know, say like the bottom, like this one, and, you know, it would have looked something like that. I don't believe this isn't the piece, you know, but it would have been close to that. So, yeah. So just a little history on the history, a little history on the history of history. So Missouri, I live in Missouri, Rolla, Missouri, and it actually came from an Indian name, Missouria, which means big canoe people, which is fitting because we have, you know, we got the Mississippi, we've got the Missouri, which you would need pretty big canoes to get on. We have the Gasconade. That is a fairly large river once you get down where it empties into the Missouri. But it's large up here where we're at. So, you know, you would need a decent sized canoe if you want to go up and down it, you know, with any sort of whatever. Yeah, you know, you're packing your furs, your whatever you got, people. So the tribes that these could have came from, because these were found mainly in Phelps County, but I mean, well, maybe half and half. Crawford County, Phelps County. So we have obviously the Missouria, Chickasaw, Illinois, Iowa, Osage, yay, Otto, and Quapaw. Obviously, I don't know that I pronounced all those names correctly, but I got that off of the University of Missouri's website, just some information. So this is actually some Indian pottery. You know, they would mix mud and chopped up straw, and you know they had their technique, but you know it's pretty hard. And then a lot of times they would kind of design it. You know, I don't know. I thought one of them had... Yeah, this one's kind of got, like... I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see that. But it's got, you know, where they would take straw and press it on it to make a design. And then, you know, they would paint it. They would do their thing to it. But, you know, a lot of these are... They kind of seemingly look like rocks. Like this one. But upon, you know, closer inspection, you could tell that it was tooled. And this one could have just been a crude arrowhead, you know, maybe a young gentleman's arrowhead or a spear point. Or could have been something that they just gave up on because it, you know, it broke off and they was like, well, that one's trash. You know, and this one, you can tell the way that it tapers down and how it's flaked off. Now, they say the arrowhead's made out of flint. But around here, we don't have flint. We have what's called chert. And that's what a majority of this is. So this one, cool story. I was down at the river skipping rocks and picked up a flat rock and was about to skip it. And I had it, you know, drew back and I was like, wait a minute. That didn't look like a regular rock. So I looked at it and it, you know, and it's an arrowhead. It had been tumbled down the river gazillion times, and it's colored like that because it had been fired. So they would sometimes temper the arrowheads, like this pink one, these pink ones here, you know, where they're colored. And this would be like a typical, you know, spear point. They would have something like this, you know, from a 4 to a 6 foot, you know, stick, and would have been shoveled down in there. And same as this, you know, spear points. Now, see something like this could have been a scraper. As small as this one is, I mean, it could have been a scraper. You see how this side's different color. This side was, you know, had been exposed, you know, to the elements for quite some time while this side was covered up. And this one I found, this is clearly like, you know, either it could have been, I don't think it would have been a war hammer. I think it probably more than likely would have been a tool, a chopping tool of some sort, or, you know, a breaking tool. But it would have been, you know, bigger. They'd have had a stick, you know, like a little axe that you would use to make kindling out of. So yeah, and this one I believe I just, well, I'm pretty sure I just chipped away at this one. It's, I mean, I'm not an arrowhead maker at all. I've tried, and that's the best one that I come up with. But yeah, so as you can see, you know, some of them are extremely, you know, drawn out, and you know, you knew that the person knew what he was doing, like this one. And then you get some, you know, that are fairly crude. Um, you know, and again, you don't know what's happened to them. They could have been tumbled down a creek for years, and then the creek, you know, they got rock out of the creek and, you know, put it as a driveway into a cow pasture, you know, or whatever, and then over years. And this one looks like, I found this one on a creek bed, and it looks like it was broke, but it had been repurposed because they had still worked on it, you know, on the broken. You obviously, you know, you could see that it would come out more, but you know, so you spend that much time on chipping away, and you hate to lose it all. If you can salvage it, you know. This one could have been a scraper too. It's a bit wide for a spear point, but yeah. So this is it. Pretty cool. And some of them are hard to tell, like what part it is. You know, like what part of the arrowhead is this? Is it, you know, is this bottom part? Does it sit like this, or, you know, like this? What's going on? But it's obviously been worked on, and we would call these, you know, just partials. And this one, I don't even know. I don't think it's an arrowhead, but I just looks kind of like one, shaped like one. Probably isn't one, but it looks cool. And see how this one just comes straight, and it's not, you know, doesn't have the little wings on it, whatever you want to call it. So, and then this one here, you know, obviously would have some very pronounced little bobs that come out of it, you know, unlike this one. See? So different people, just like pipe smoking. Different people like different tobaccos, like different style pipes. You know, whenever you're making anything in your wood shop, it's different. So everybody's got different styles. Certain tribes had different styles. And here tell they would often trade, you know, arrowheads. See, this one's serrated. It's almost, if you can see that, it's almost like it's fluted. See how this side is raised up on that edge, and this side it is, you know, maybe to where it would give it a spin. I did find one. I found a lot more than this, and I gave a lot away. I wish I wouldn't have, but I was finding them, you know, left and right, so I was just passing them out. But I did find one that clearly this side was dipped in. They'd taken more out of this side and this side, you know, to where it would maybe spin. You know, and if it's spinning, it's going to go straighter instead of just going like this, because then you can, yeah. So this is it. Pretty cool. just thought I'd follow up and show you guys my meager little collection. I don't have hardly any that that somebody that didn't know anything about arrowheads would look at and say, "Oh wow, that's an arrowhead." I have a couple. There are several that you can see, but if you know what you're looking for, you can find them. Pretty cool. All right, thank you guys. I am the Bearded Tamper. Thanks for watching.